What if where you are right now, in your life, with your current circumstances, the way that you are, is exactly where you need to be at this very moment? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up and I'm making a video about this because I was thinking about something the other day and reflecting on something that I've thought about before, I've heard other people talk about, I've had discussions about. Of this idea of thinking we need to be somewhere else. Of this idea of thinking where we are right now, in a sense, isn't good enough and something else is going to be better, or where we should be. And I want to introduce or remind you of a concept that is very powerful to me when this level of thought or this idea comes up for me. Because when I first started discovering things about my spirit, I started gaining, we'll call it spiritual awareness. I started understanding that, wow, there's more to me than just being a physical being. There's more to me than life happening to me. In fact, I'm starting to realize that life isn't just happening to me. I am the creator or co-creator of my own existence, of my own life. And that this is a beautiful adventure. When I started moving more onto that thread, my old story would keep bringing up this idea. Okay, well, shouldn't we be here, right? And you're a third dimensional being, but maybe you should be a fourth dimensional being. Let's say something like that, right? Why are you so third dimensional? You know, clearly it's better to be fourth dimensional or even fifth dimensional. How about that? Or there are certain things you're doing and there are certain things this other person is doing, and you need to be that. Where you are currently is not good enough. You need to be that. Right? I've had these thoughts many, many different times. Kind of getting on the treadmill of just thinking I need to have more, do more, be more. And then I always remember that at my core, I'm the same as everyone else is. I'm the same as everything is, which is God. Which is the divine, infinite, co-creative being that for whatever reason chose to be a three-dimensional being this time around, a spiritual being in a human body. And I don't believe I would be here in this form, presented to you right now, if this wasn't what I was meant to be right now in this moment. If I wasn't meant to be here, learning something, growing in some way, expanding my consciousness and therefore the overall consciousness. It wouldn't be. It's funny to me how sometimes I will look and I notice other people making the same observation or kind of same comments at themselves and go, you know, I don't like being what I am, it seems, or who I am. I don't like being, why do I have to live in this world that seems to be full of pain and suffering and all of these other things? And I understand that train of thought because I've thought it many times before. But I truly believe, and when I connect to truth, this idea always resonates with me. When I connect to what I truly am, this idea always resonates with me. I would not be here. I would not be here in this form. I would not be here as the spiritual being I am if I wasn't meant to be here in this form. Yes, do I believe there are four-dimensional beings, fifth-dimensional beings, and beyond? Do I believe there are people in different places in their journey, not just as third-dimensional creatures or third-dimensional beings? Do I believe that there are angels and ascended masters and things of this nature? Absolutely. Do I believe in things like Bouchard, who is a different dimensional creature or operates at a different density? 100%. But I don't believe that just because I am in this third density, or third dimension, I should say, that I am this spiritual being in a human body, that I have a human body in this form, that makes me any better than worse, or worse, I should say, better or worse. All it means is this is what is. And for whatever reason, this is where I'm at. I can have all these kinds of judgments about it, probably why I'm in this form and not beyond it. But beyond it doesn't mean beyond it like this, it just means beyond it like this. There is no better or worse in this regard. Do I consider myself better or worse than a dog or a cat that I enjoy the company of so much? Or the birds that I watch outside? I don't. It's just a different form of divinity. And for whatever reason, my form of divinity, the way I have chosen to express myself this time around, is this. It's quite nice. But I would invite you to start looking at it in a similar way. Instead of, if you do this, fighting where you currently are, thinking you need to be elsewhere. And there's nothing wrong with having a goal or an ambition, a vision of what you would like to move into. But instead of having this idea, I will feel fulfilled, and great when I'm here? What if we could come into the present moment, the only moment we ever have, the eternal now, and accept it for what it is and accept ourselves for what we are? And when you truly get to the core of that, what I truly feel to be true, and maybe you don't, maybe you do. I'm not saying this is either right or wrong. I'm not saying this is what you have to take on board, but just how I feel about it. I believe at our core we are God. We are an expression of that. We are divine, infinite, co-creative beings. And when we come back into the moment and recognize that, we realize that it is perfect exactly where I'm at. And funnily enough, what I have found is when I accept that, I come into my being, into what I truly am. I accept that, yeah, I'm not this density or this dimension or whatever. You know, I might be at a cosmic kindergarten level, and there might be other beings at a cosmic high school graduate level. But it's not better and worse. Would you look at a kindergartner now and a high school graduate and be like, the kindergartner is not as good as the high school graduate because it's not as far along in its education? No, you would just say, no, the kindergartner's in kindergarten because it's this age. It needs to learn, you know, certain things to get to this point. And that's very much how I view, we'll say, our cosmic education as well. But I come back and try to remember what I truly am and realize I am in this form, I am in this moment, I am doing what I am doing, I am pulled from my heart towards certain things for a reason. And I found the more that I honor that, the more that I honor and love and accept and almost melt into what I truly am, into the moment, and accept that fully, actually, the more that ends up changing. The more expression of that I get to experience. The more my, as Tom Campbell would say, decision space starts to expand. And so, this is just an invitation. You could agree or disagree with all, none, some of what I'm saying. And it doesn't really matter. Only take on board this if it resonates and feels true to you as well. But if it does, I would invite you to stop thinking you need to be elsewhere. To stop thinking life is going to be X, Y, or Z when you're here. And to get yourself into the moment, the eternal now that is all you ever have. But what a beautiful, amazing, expansive, infinite thing to have. That which you are. To bring yourself and connect to that. And to see where that takes you. To see what that has for you. To see what you are when you stop trying to be something that you are not. Because I can almost guarantee you what you are is far, far more magnificent than whatever it is you think you need to be loved, to be accepted, or whatever else it is. You are already all those things. You are already that which you seek. And when you connect to that, I truly believe magical things will happen. They have for myself, and they can for you. Again, this is just an invitation, but these are some thoughts I wish to share with you. Hopefully you have found them invigorating or in some way helpful at the very least. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This was very much just an off-the-cuff type of video. I haven't even really been creating. I wasn't going to create videos like this, but it popped into my head and I'm like, oh, I got to create this. So hopefully someone is getting something out of it. My thought is it will, because I wouldn't have been compelled to do it if not. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, please, I invite you to remember that you are loved. We live in an amazing, incredibly friendly universe. And I'll see you, perhaps, on the next video.